Hi everyone, welcome back to the Gypsy Caravan. I'm Shan. How you doing? For today's video, it's going to be short and sweet. I just want to show you something that I think is cool. And that is the new-ish makeup trend at the moment, which is called Denim Wash. And the reason why I have to show you this trend is because blue eyeshadow gets my heart racing. I absolutely love blue eyeshadow. I don't wear it enough, and I wish I could or did or found an excuse to wear blue eyeshadow. But anyway, so I'm going to show you the Denim Wash trend. Blue eyeshadow used to be a thing in like the 80s and the 90s, but it's now, but with this trend I feel like it's more wearable and it's a little bit more relatable for the peeps of the day to wear blue eyeshadow again. So I want to make it a thing. I did technically first see this on Michelle Clark's page first. She's the global MAC senior trainer for New York. I know her from MAC. She's like one of my favorite artists ever. She can do no wrong to me. Anyway, rambling. I'm going to show you this trend and how you can wear it and how to make blue eyeshadow wearable without looking like it's the 80s again. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and follow me on social media. I am down here. Let's get into it. Okay, so for my video today, I'm going to do a little bit of what Michelle did, but also a little bit of what I saw on the MAC Cosmetics page. I'm going to do a bit of both. Michelle's blue washed out denim look was a little bit more matte and very vibrant and very standoutish in terms of the blue. I'm going to mute it down a little bit, but I'm going to use the eyeshadow that they did on the MAC feed because I have that and that's like one of my favorite blues. So moving on, grab yourself a white eyeshadow, must be matte. I'm going to grab this one here. It's called Gesso. It's by MAC. The big fluffy brush. You don't need a lot. We just need something to pick up the color of the blue so that it stands out, because some blues, once you put it to skin, does tend to get a little bit more muted and then you actually kind of lose the blue. And then it starts looking less denim-y and more like during the day. I don't know, but just get a fluffy brush and kind of just sweep this across the lid. It doesn't have to be super pigmented, it just needs to be a slight wash of the white eyeshadow. I do technically have my face on already, but I just want to kind of show you how you can finish off this denim eyeshadow trend thing. So I got my brows on, I got my skin on. I'm just going to show you how to finish it off. Okay, so now you're going to grab yourself a warm transition eyeshadow shade. Technically for this, if you are stuck, use a bronzer. Bronzer is just the safest. I'm going to use a bronzer because some of my transition shades are a little too warm or a little too pale. Like I don't have that nice in between. So I'm going to definitely use a bronzer. I'm going to go in with my Old Faithful, which is the butter bronzer. Same eyeshadow brush, and tap off the excess, and then you're just going to stick this in your crease area. You don't need to push too hard. We just want some kind of shadow or some kind of contour in this fold here. So with a light pressure and like a loose hand, just work that in back and forth. Inner corner to outer corner, and then whatever's left over on the brush you can circle that out into the crease. Okay, so as you can see I've got just that little inkling of a shadow right there. That's all you need. Sometimes you can get away with just the one eyeshadow across the lid, like as in a one eyeshadow wash, which I do often, but even then I do put something in my crease just for like a slight bit of dimension, because you need to still contour your eye. It's just a thing, and it will just make the eye stand out a little bit more. It will hold up your bone structure a little bit more as well. So even if you just use bronzer, bronzer is super sheer. It's not, you know, a deeply pigmented product, and it is quite buildable, so you can go in with as much as you want and it still won't look like super heavy. Okay, now it's time to bring out those blue eyeshadows that you wore back in the day, because now we are going to move on to the actual denim wash portion of this video. You are going to need a packing brush like this if you have one, and the first eyeshadow we are going in with, I'm just in my blue palette. If you have something similar-ish to this, grab that. This is Aqua by MAC. If you don't have something like this exactly, any kind of light bluish eyeshadow that you have, even if it is a slightly darker blue, just then use less. Or you can always mix an eyeshadow in with a white eyeshadow to lighten it. That's a good hack to remember, is that if you always want to darken an eyeshadow, mix it in with a bit of black eyeshadow. If you want to lighten it, mix it in with a bit of white, like just pick up a bit of both. I have a light blue eyeshadow, so I'm going to use that, and the packing brush. The eyeshadow I'm using is matte, which means there is no shimmer or glitter or anything in it. And then I am just going to push this down only on the lid. I'm not going to take it up. We're just going to push it down onto the lid. Use packing movements, tapping movements, because we are packing the color on. We are not sweeping, because then it's going to be very, very sheer. And again, just a wash. We just need something to hold up that blue slightly. So make sure to pack it down. Like that. And then you can go in with that big fluffy brush again. You can either pick up more of that bronzer or just nothing at all. And just kind of ease out that, even out the crease area so it's not too harsh. You don't want all the eyeshadow like just sitting there. You just want to blend that out slightly. So that you have this sort of effect. Okay, so then the next eyeshadow I'm going to go in with is this one here. It's called Tilt. It's kind of like a metallic-y, iridescent sort of blue. It's literally the color of blue jeans. Like, you know those washed out blue denim jeans? That's literally what this is. It's the perfect eyeshadow shade for what we're trying to do, obviously. If you don't have something like that, so for example, like the blues you have are kind of like in this sort of situation, you can still use them, but again, mix it in with white or mix it in with like a frosty white so that you can kind of get this sort of effect. Become your own mixologist. When it comes to makeup, there are no rules as to what you can do to mix a color that you need. I actually don't know what I'm talking about, so let's just move on. Again, I'm going to take that same packing brush and just pick up some of that eyeshadow, and again we're going to push this down first. And that aqua shade that we put down first, it's what's going to just bring up the color of this eyeshadow. And then once you've packed it down, then that's when you can sweep it in, because we need to pick up the metallicness of this eyeshadow. So we are going to layer this eyeshadow slightly so that we get the most out of the look, out of the color. If you want to intensify the color, you can always go in with the setting spray. I've just got Fix Plus here. There we go. That's what I want. So just take your time, layer this eyeshadow If you want to intensify the metallic-ness of it, use Fix Plus like I did. Cool, there we go. We're going to go back in with our, what is this? A big fluffy brush. And we're just going to soften out that edge in the crease. So it's not just like a line. I'm going to finish this eye quickly and then I'll be back. Okay, so we should kind of be like here at this point. We're now going to do underneath the eyes, so grab that flat brush again and some more Tilt or whatever blue eyeshadow you are using, and we are just going to run this underneath the eye here, inner corner to outer corner, and then I kind of connect it to the top, and then same thing on this side. I'm going to go back in with some of that bronzer with that big fluffy brush again, and we are just going to blend out the bottom here. And then I kind of wing it out, but not too much. Now that the eyes are done, we're going to head into mascara. Let me just like brighten this up a little bit. I have to keep changing the lighting, it's annoying. So for my top lashes, I'm just going to go in with my Fenty because I have a different mascara that I want to use for my bottom lashes. If you want, you can add eyeliner to this. I wouldn't, because then you kind of miss, you know, you covering the eyeshadow and then you kind of taking away from the eye look, is what I'm trying to say. My goodness, if English could just come out today. I am just going to brush through my lashes real quick. Make sure to get the top and bottom so that you don't have ashy eyelashes at the top here. Nothing irritates me more is when someone looks down and the lashes are like grey or white from all the eyeshadow that's sitting on the lashes, and then when you're looking at the person, then the lashes are black. No ma'am, do your makeup properly. For the bottom lashes, I used to do this a lot at MAC. I used to match my mascara to my eye look. I know that sounds old school and probably really stupid, but I really loved doing that. So if I was wearing blue eyeshadow, I would do the blue mascara. We had brown mascara at one point, so if I wore anything with brown in my eyes, I wore brown mascara or black. It just did. And then there was one more color. What was it? I want to say like a magenta purple, I think, in these MAC minis. So if I wore it with like anything purple, pink eyeshadow in my eye, I would match my mascara, and I thought it was cool. So for a bit of color, we're going to go in with a blue mascara. This is in Extreme Dimension in the shade Hold for 10. So now it looks quite scary in the one that's like an electric blue, but when you apply it to your lashes, it's not so scary. See, it's like you can barely see it. It's quite muted. Tip of the mascara to do my bottom lashes, because this one is quite big and I don't want to put like too much product down because then it starts transferring. Cute. So now that's what my eyes look like. So now I've got that really nice little pop of color at the blue as well. Match my little denim jeans on the top. Cute. Okay, so now let's finish up the face. I'm sweating so much that my hair's doing weird flippy things. Anyway, I'm just going to go in with the same bronzer because I don't actually want to sculpt out my face. I don't want to technically bronze. I just want some kind of shadow on the face to create angles because my face is far too round. I'm just going to go in with a 135 because it's quite flimsy, so it will put color down but not a lot. And I'm just going to run this through my cheeks. Okay. I am going to go in with a little bit of blush. Oh, if I could just open my damn palette. The best blush I find that complements blue eyeshadows is your light pinks, your pastel pinks, teetering on a warm pink, especially if you have really fair skin. If you are more of a warm undertone, then definitely like a rosy pink. So let me show you some examples with my blush palette. So this is more of like a warm sort of rosy pink. I'm going to use this one because it's quite fair. It has a blue undertone, which is what I am. This is called Well Dressed by MAC. I'm just going to take it on a blush brush, or buildable cheek brush rather, and then just pick up some. I'm just going to pat it down on the high points of the cheek here, just to give a little bit of lift. I'm not going to bring it down on my actual apple of the cheek because I want a little bit of a lift, and I kind of want to drape it into that eyeshadow a teensy bit. Whenever you're working with powder, anything, eyeshadow, blush, bronzer, whatever, make sure to always push the product in first before you blend it out. Give your skin a chance to grip onto the pigment. And then once the product has left the brush and has taken onto the skin, or your skin has taken on the pigment, then you can blend it out and soften it and move it around. That. And then I'm just going to stick a little bit on my nose because I like that. Okay, and then for a highlighter moment, I'm going to go in with my nude palette, and I'm going to pick up, when I find it, here, I'm going to pick up some Shroom, which is kind of like a silvery sort of eyeshadow. The best way I can describe it is if you think of the color of a sliced mushroom. You slice it in half. It's literally that color with a bit of shimmer. Now I know that sounds funny, but it's beautiful and it works well with the blue eyeshadow because it's more of a silvery undertone. You can definitely not do a gold highlighter with this. It has to be silvery. So I'm just going to pick up that big fluffy blending brush again, some of that Shroom, and I'm going to stick this in the brow bone for some highlight. I'm not going to do my inner corners because I like the blue that's sitting in my inner corners right now. I might even just take whatever's left on that brush and just intensify the inner corner blue a little bit more, like that. Kind of make it bleed a little. I'm going to pick up that blush brush again, and still the same highlighter, that Shroom, and I'm going to run this across the high planes of my face. It's a very soft sort of highlighter. It's not super intense at all, which makes it a great highlighter. I'm just going to dab it in and then just bring it down on the cheeks there. Let's talk lipstick shades. Back in the day, the go-to color was your pinks, maybe a red sometimes. But we need to keep this more modern. This is definitely piggybacking on a Y2K sort of makeup look, you know, back in the 90s when everyone was wearing blue eyeshadow, sometimes back in the 80s as well, but we need to make this more relevant for today. So I'm only going to do a gloss, but I'm going to keep it in the cool tone family and keep everything around my eyes very muted, very pulled back, and just let my eyes do all the talking. So I'm going to go in with this like baby pink. It's more like a lavender pink. There's definitely blue in here. It's called, I don't know because the sticker's gone. I think this is Saint Germaine by MAC. It's the only Saint Germaine I will ever have from MAC. But you can see it's quite a lavenderish pink. And it matches my blush, which is quite cute. You will not catch me dead wearing Saint Germaine lipstick. But the lip gloss, that's okay. It's beautiful. Okay, and here is the completed washed up denim eye look. It's very reminiscent of a Y2K aesthetic, like I said, but we're just making it a little bit more modern by doing a different kind of placement. The mascara, I just wanted a pop of color, and then keeping everything on the skin pulled back so that your eyes aren't fighting for attention. Definitely trending at the moment. The other thing you could do is maybe do like blue jean lipstick, which exists, like a nice denim lipstick. I have 4. That's how much I like this denim shade. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and like and share with a friend. If you want to see anything like specific on my channel, then you can let me know down below in the comment section. My gosh. Thank you again so much for watching and supporting my channel, and don't forget whenever you can to refer the Gypsy Caravan. Bye.